And welcome to the first episode of the Roundtable with Bill. And I got a special guest here today, my good friend and podcast friend from the award-winning KGC show, Kaden Collins. How you doing, my brother?
Bill, first off, it's an honor to be on your first episode. I have seen very many of your episodes, The Rebel Within, and I've been a fan of yours for a very long time. So I'm very touched and honored to be here on your show as your first guest today. Thank you for having me.
Oh, well, thank you, man. I appreciate you doing it, man. I know sometimes, we all get busy and our schedules are kind of crazy, but hey, I really appreciate it.
Anything for you, man. You've always been good to me and your family. So anytime.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, brother. So, we'll just kind of get right into it, man. So, just kind of tell everybody, who Caden is, what the KGC show is, and we'll just have a conversation.
Right. Well, when I think of who KGC is a faith, country music, family driven man. You know, I yes, I've had a lot of ups and downs throughout life and that's bound in every life. But those memories and those people in my life, they define me, not those small hiccups in the road. And what is the KGC show? I started off as the Spokane Man podcast. Bill, you know that because I think
Yep.
you were a guest on that show.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think at least twice. I think maybe.
yeah, but yeah, I got a phone call one day from the incredible Jeff Panzer. Jeff Panzer is one of the multi-viewed video producers. He's up there with Little Wayne, Nelly. Uh, he's Drake, Stevie Wonder, Nicki Minaj, you name it. He's done their music videos for even the Rolling Stones. So let alone when Jeff calls me, it's always an honor. It doesn't matter what time of the day it is. It's always an honor. But Jeff called me one day and he said, "Who do you think you are? Are you some type of government official?" I go, "No." And he goes, "What's Spokane paying you to use their name in your show?" And I said, "Nothing." And he said, "Well, you ought to think you make a name for yourself instead of your city." I said, "Oh, there's a reason why you're Jeff Banter, man." And I'm just starting out, and so he said, "What are your initials?" And I opened every show with, "Hi, this is KGC, the host of the Spokane Man podcast." So I already had my initials crabbed out. But when Jeff called me and asked what my initials were, and I said KGC, and he said, "Just use those." And I said, "What about the KGC show?" And he said, "Great." And ever since then, 6 long years, well, maybe not 6 long years from this show, but it feels like it, It doesn't feel like I had another show before this, but man, you just put your faith in God, really. You dedicate that show to him, and in return he gives you all the great guests that I've been so fortunate enough to have. It's a partnership, really. If you just dedicate anything that you do to him, he takes over the rest.
Amen, brother. I mean, there's no more truth behind that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You give everything to the Lord, man, and you praise his name and he'll bless you. So, yeah, I remember, the Spokane Man show. I kind of wondered what happened to that for a while because I know you were doing that. And then all of a sudden I seen you started doing the KGC show. And, like a lot of other things, man, life gets, long and stuff, and you kind of lose. I mean, you don't really lose contact, but just don't speak as much as you used to, man. And that's on me too, So I mean, it's but I'm glad to see you, man. The success you've had and what you built and everything. Uh, but anyway, so yeah. So how did the award thing come about?
Wow. Well, first off, I want to say thank you to everybody who helped voted. It's a fan voted award. And we're back at it again this year. The Northwest CMAs are back up Thursday, November the 4th, I believe that date is. So if you guys are in said area, come on out. And a little bit about what the Northwest CMA stuff is we were just the inland Northwest, where it was Washington and Idaho and some other places. But now, the founder of the Northwest CMA Awards, Rusty Jackson, he's expanded it to where we're in Washington, Montana, Oregon, Idaho, and Wyoming. So it's the whole Northwest. And man, I started getting into these live gigs with Mel Dalton. She's one of the podcast guests that I had on this KGC show. And I didn't think anything of it. I went and supported them a couple times throughout the year, but it was, me just going to see free live music. And that's really the best part about living up here is we're not Nashville, we're not LA, we're New York, we're the Northwest, but that makes us really tight and that makes us really close. But the Pacific Northwest really has some of the best musicians, I think, second to Nashville that we have. And so just getting them in with that group, and I'm not sure if you saw, but I hosted the nominations where we read off the nominations names and everybody that was nominated, and thank God I made it, and thank you Lord for that. And then it was Thursday. It was in November this past year, out at a casino out about 30 minutes from where I live. And for favorite podcast, they have it was 4 different shows, and there was a tie for first place. And then when Jamie Patrick said the KGC show as the winner, I said, that's truly what happens when you put your faith into God and give your show to God, is I still don't think it's real that I have that. I still don't think that it's real that I'm an award-winning podcast host. But that's because I don't want it to get to my head. I don't want any of this show and stuff like that to get to my head, because that's the root of all evil. And if you ask me, and I hope that when I look at this award, it humbles me. I still got a lot of work to do, man.
Well, that's awesome, man. I mean, I kind of went on there and looked at some of your guests and stuff on there you've had, man. You've had like, William Lee Golden and some other, some big name stars on there and stuff, man. So, that's really cool, dude. You know, that's what I'm trying to do here, and to kind of explain to everybody what this podcast is about. It's not just about like music and like artists. And what I want to do is have, like, say for instance, if you have like, say you're an independent artist, or even maybe a signed artist, or an independent author, or or a signed author, or a radio DJ, or former radio DJ, or podcaster, YouTuber. You got a small business, a startup, anything, man. You want to try to get your name out there and what you're doing out there. That's what this platform for is. People come on, talk about it, let people know they're out there, let people know what's going on, and just kind of do what I can, man. I want to try to build something to where it's not only help me but help others.
Yes, sir. And that's what we need more of in this dark world that we live in, when everybody is so polar opposite. I love the fact that you and me, to a set extent, how we give people a platform to share what their passion is, man. That's what I love about, all your other shows. And if I'm not mistaken, you were a former DJ, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So, what I love is finding out what drives people, what's the inspiration for their passion. And sometimes it comes out clear. And you mentioned uh, the Oaks. I just put together yesterday. I'm going to give your podcast, since this is the first episode. I will say that I just yesterday finished putting the date together for their new tenor singer. Ben James will be coming out on the show, to the KGC show. So, we just finished putting that date in yesterday. We got the great Stella Soleil coming back. We got B. Smith, who's a great independent artist, but I don't think you can have a show without having William Lee Golden. That dude is just iconic. That
Yeah.
is the one word I have to describe him, is iconic.
Oh yeah. I
Sorry.
mean, there's no doubt about that, man. I mean, and that's awesome, dude, that you got, some all that stuff lined up. I've got and you know me, I'm also, not only am I a former radio DJ, but I'm also an independent author too. And you know how big of a Poe fan I am. So I got a guy coming on here one day this week coming up that owns a company called the Ravens Crypt or whatever. And he's supposed to be coming on, and how, his idea talk about how his idea come for that, how they got started and all that stuff. And so that's supposed to be, sometime hopefully filmed this week and be out by the end of the week, maybe. So, that'd be pretty cool. And I got some other people lined up. So I probably got about 3 or 4 people lined up here within probably the next week or so.
So, if I can reverse the cards on you for 1 second,
Mm-hmm.
I have a 2-part question for you. Number 1, what made you come up with this podcast?
Well, here's the thing. I'm an independent author, okay, former radio DJ, and it's hard. I want to basically just get it out there how hard it is and difficult sometimes it is to be independent, and where some people find the freedom in independence, and then some people find the struggle in independence, and some people, like they say, oh, I love being independent because I call all my own shots and I can do whatever I want to, and however. But then again, it's you also putting everything on the line too. So it's one of those things where I just want to just let people kind of inform people like what it's like to be an artist or a business owner or a DJ or whatever, and it's just like growing from where you start to where you are now, or if you're just starting, and what your goals and where you want to go. So that's basically what it's about, man. It's just that's pretty much it. It's just kind of different from any of the other stuff I've done.
That's right. And how do you think hosting the other shows, including your radio show, has inspired you to be the host you are today?
Well, truth is, man, I've always loved radio and grew up, listening to the radio, and I grew up listening to the Casey Kasem's Top 40 Countdown and stuff. And, when I got a chance when I was in college to be on the radio, I was like, man, I jumped at it. And, at first it was a little learning curve, but once I learned how to really go in, and like the biggest thing was learning to set up the board and all that stuff and how the radio worked and all that. And then basically, man, it's just sitting there, playing songs and talking. And I got the idea of doing the Rebel Within podcast, which you remember, back in the day, because you know who Chris Cornell was, and lead singer Soundgarden. When he committed suicide back in the day, all I had heard there for like a few days was like how it stunned people and how they couldn't understand, why he had done it and everything. And I went on there and said, that'd be a good thing to talk about, So my first episode was about him, and I think right about the same time Dad lost Greg Allman from the Allman Brothers Band around about that same time, and so I kind of put those two things together and kind of combined it in one episode. But it was just kind of an awareness thing, and I kind of want to say what maybe some people felt or didn't understand, and I just thought I'd try to get them to understand it, maybe from someone that's their life ain't always been a bed of roses. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you know, so I was hoping it would do something for somebody.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I love your shows, buddy. You're one of my top five favorite hosts, and when I heard that you were coming out with this new one, I was like, man, any way I can be a part, let me know. And so I'm honored to be here today.
Appreciate it, man. I'm honored you're here. When we go back, man, not only are we like podcasts and stuff, but we friends, and we've been on live streams and stuff together and stuff like that, man. So it's really been cool. I hate that we haven't talked this much in a long time, but hey, like I say, life kind of just throws its curveballs at you, and you just have to do what you have to do.
That's right. But it doesn't matter how long we go through from without talking. We
Yep,
always have remained close and remain great friends. And
yep,
it's something that I feel like we think a lot alike in a lot of ways. We both have a faith background, which keeps us grounded in staying friends with each other. But most importantly, it's the respect and love we have for music. Music is bigger than anything you put your mind to. It's bigger than any job you'll have.
yeah,
And for me, I think that a lot of people don't agree on a lot of things worldly, but when we can all come together from music and the just pure respect out of having friends,
yep.
it makes for an easier life. And so, like I said earlier, man, your family and thank you for always seeming to care what I've been up to. And you've been one of the greatest podcast hosts that I've been able to be around because I also learn a lot from you and from watching your shows. So,
Well, I appreciate that, man. I really do. Anytime I can help or anything I can ever do, just let me know. Um, but I wanted to ask you too, just out of curiosity, like how do you go about getting people to come onto your show? Do you like email them, or do you have somebody that does all that stuff for you, or whatever? Just kind of let people know like how you go about doing that.
well, man, I have a great team around me, and by a great team, I mean Jeff Panzer. He loves indie artists, and he loves to work with them. He's working with one right now, Stella Soleil, who he's working with a bunch of them actually. But Stella is an incredible artist. She was once signed to a record label, but now she's has this independent label, and her debut song "Hello" is a smash number 1 hit overseas and everything. So I'm getting ready to chat with Stella tomorrow, and so sometimes you'll have people contact you asking for guests. I also just I work with Kaden Gordon a lot. Kaden Gordon is one of the greatest radio hosts of all time. He's a modern day radio host out of Boston. So he's out of Boston.
Nice.
And so, and also I find talent, and being a part of the Northwest CMA stuff really helps me find my guests too. So it's just always being on the lookout for things. And, sometimes people suggest me guests to have on the show, and I'll go, do all of it, but I ain't got no team. I book it all myself. And sometimes that gets a little crazy with my scheduling, but we make it work.
Well, that's awesome, man. That's cool. And like I said, man, word of mouth gets out too. So you go on there and somebody say, "Hey, I went on this podcast. They're really cool. They were polite and they were, what I'm saying. They didn't, act like all full of themselves and stuff like that. So sometimes, that helps too. The word of mouth gets out, and people want to be a part of stuff like that. So that's awesome, bro. It really is.
What it is you're building an outside team around you. You're building. Yes, you have your people that help book your shows and everything, but you can't do it with the outside people as well. You've got to build a great team around there. So there's somebody always supporting each other, and that's what I hope I do with my show. Is not make it so much of a podcast as I do a community.
Yeah.
As we speak, I'm about to hit 200 subscribers on this channel,
Nice.
and I just see that as that's 200 family members gathered together to come together to love music. That's really what I just see it as. I don't see them as fans or nothing because I'm too. I love people enough not to see them as a fan. You will always be a friend and or family, and so man, it's just having people like what you said put a good word out for you.
Yeah. Well, awesome, man. Yeah. So, like I said, I mean, it's just who the who's who kind of like thing, and like when I did my and speaking of radio shows, I'll kind of throw it out to you here. There may be a comeback for the Wild Bill show here soon. Talking to somebody, I know somebody that's got an online radio station or whatever, and they got some open slots and everything, and so I got to have a conversation with somebody here soon, but I might be, going back doing some radio.
Congratulations, man. It couldn't have happened to a better person. And, why don't you come over to the show when you have it officially under your belt that you know that what you're doing and come on, talk about it, man. I love getting to any reason to chat with you. It's always a good day, man.
Bro, I'll do it. You're here for me, so I'll definitely do it for you, man. Got no problem with that.
Yeah, wow. Out of all my podcasting guests, you're the easiest to talk to, and I've had a few that are like that too, but it's like what you said, is it's not a podcast, it's a conversation, kind of
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I kind of feel like you're Bobby Bones and I'm just the guest, but that's how professional you are at it.
Oh, well, I appreciate that, man.
Might be the radio in you.
Could be, Yep. Oh yeah. Well, is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Man, just keep your faith in God, man. That's really what I can say, is if you don't have your faith in God, you don't have your faith in anything. And it's really hard to be devastated on what's going on in the world today. But you know what? My love for God is bigger than the complaints of what's going on today. And I feel like it's that easy. If we don't make him complicated and just make him welcome, life would go on so much happier. We would all be so much happier if we just brought Christ back into the world. But, check out the show if you feel interested, um, check out Bill too, man. That's talk about a host, man. Bill's a great one. But yeah, man, if you want to check out the show, the KGC show, I'm on all the social medias, Kaden Collins, mostly. And I have a few podcast social media accounts, but I think on Twitter, on the KGC show, I don't know. But I'll send them all to you and you do whatever. But put together a link tree.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah, that's
I'm.
what I need to do myself. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm on all the social medias. I'm on the KGC show, and yeah, I'm everywhere, man. So come on out, hang out, and if you got any independent artists out there that want to have a podcast, come on. I'm accepting to all.
Nice.
We even had
Yeah.
a Christian heavy metal artist on the show recording.
Oh, nice. There you go.
You know what? I think he's still doing his last round of interviews. And if I do, if he is, I'm going to send him your way because I think that you could benefit from having him on the show.
Okay. Appreciate it.
That's what family does, man.
Yeah, yeah. I'll shoot you I'll shoot you my email address later.
Sounds good.
All right, brother. Well, man, I just want to say thank you, man. It's been awesome, and like I said, just trying to build something different, man. Something um, that I still love all the other stuff I do, but I just wanted to venture out on something different, man. And I like having other podcasters on there and other, whoever. I actually got a guy coming up that when I was doing my radio show, he was the guy that did all the programming and everything, and now he calls. He still does that for the college radio, but he also does the announcing at the college baseball games that for the college I went to, and so he's supposed to come on here soon too. So that'll be really cool. So yeah, so it's just I'm just trying to get people on and have them tell their story, man, and maybe to inspire somebody to do what they do or whatever.
That's right. And that's all we can do. Is
Yeah,
we can hope that we say something and that it resonates with people. But until you hear back from the people, that's one of those things where I love any chance I can to maybe inspire somebody. Whoever
yeah,
wants to be inspired by me, take it for your own will. But I just hope that I inspire somebody by just getting up and doing it every day, man.
yeah,
Because that's a battle within itself. And
yeah. It is,
uh,
man.
I think that influencing is a lot of different words, but influencer can mean social media influencer, TikTok influencer, or whatever. And I'm not trying to get diversal here. I'm trying to say one thing is that an influencer comes with a story. It comes with a story that hits you in the heart that not a lot of people can. If they don't influence you to go do something, they are only a worldly inspiration. So be your own inspiration and, chase your dreams and never look down and never look back.
All right, well, I thank you, brother, and like I said, it's good talking to you and everything, man. And good luck with your show in the next few weeks with your guests and everything, man. And just give me up, man. When you get them posted or whatever, just shoot them to me, and I'll definitely check them out. And I'll put your thing down in the hashtag down in the description and everything down there. People come check you out, man.
Well, Bill and Bill's podcast group, we love you guys. Love one another. If you don't take anything from me from this entire interview, take that you guys need to love one another. And I ain't just trying to quote here. It's really what I live my life by. And Bill, it's always a pleasure to see you. Like I said multiple times, any chance I can talk to you, it's always a great day. And thank you again for letting me be here on your show. And man, your family, and this has been fantastic. I hope I haven't bored you too much.
Oh man, you've been a great guest, man.
Well, we love you and keep doing good for the podcast world.
All right, man. Love you, brother. Take care.
Love you too, man.
Yeah.
Bye.
Later. Bye.
Later.